Hi, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to another day of movement meditations. So far this week, we have been looking at sort of, the different movements of looking. So we started off with looking up and then looking down, looking left and right. And yesterday we did looking backwards, and today I want to do looking forwards. And looking forwards has maybe you can use that as an analogy for other things. So people, obviously use language in different ways, but we understand by the term looking forwards, both the act of looking forwards, and we think about it as looking into the future as well. And, just on the sort of, on the track that I was on Wednesday to do with, all the activism in America at the moment, and, the kind of bringing to the surface the inherent racism in a lot of our cultures, then to me it takes on a nice meaning, that we have hope and that we can change things and we can look forward and the world can be different. So that as the backdrop for today's lesson. What I'd like you to do, just initially, is just as you close your eyes, just notice how it feels to close your eyelids. So one of the things that Moshe Feldenkrais did really well with the Feldenkrais method is bringing our attention to process, actually what we're doing when we're doing something. So as you close your eyes now, just feel how you close your eyelids. How does it feel? And then open them and close them, and just do it a couple of times. Like, it's a very light experience. The eyelids close really almost under our conscious awareness, but you can feel it. It has sensation. So as you close your eyes, what does it feel like for your eyelids to cover your eyes? Does it give you some sense of the shape of your eye? Good. So then just have your eyes open for a second, and just bring your attention with your eyes open to how you're sitting. Notice how your eyes are orientated to the screen in front of you, whether they're looking at me or they're looking forwards. And that's one of the things that I want to work with today. So obviously we are all spending a lot more time looking at screens, paying attention to what's in a very small portion of our visual field, and the eyes have a lot more potential than that. So this lesson really is about exploring the potential of the eye. So the first thing I'd like you to do is bring your eyes up above the camera, above the screen, and look just into the air above your laptop. Or, I mean, maybe you've got it really well organized, so you're not looking down at it, but still, bring your eyes off it. So we've got this idea in our language of the horizon. And now, if you've ever been to the beach or you've seen the sea, yeah, it's really clear that there's a point in our vision where we actually can't see further. So, because of the curvature of the Earth, there's a very distinct line. And that means that, at that point, really, like, you're just seeing further into air and sky. But in terms of picking out objects, that's really like the limit of our ability. And maybe that changes if you're on a plane, for example. So I don't know if there's actually a limit to our vision, but maybe there is. But the thing that if you contrast our modern world, our modern environment with, previous, like our ancestors, or prior back to that, and the way that, we explored the world, the eyes were much more used in terms of exploration, surveying large distances, planning out routes to go from here to there. And now, I don't know, I mean, in some ways, yes, we do maybe go on holiday and we see nice views, but we don't necessarily always use the potential of our eyes to look really, really far. So now just close your eyes again. And just imagine that you've got, if you orientate yourself roughly to the line of the horizon, and just imagine that you've got a small object, and I'm going to use a plane today. So if you imagine you've got a small plane, just as you close your eyes, in your imagination, on the line of your horizon, and then I just want you to follow that plane as it goes as far out as you can imagine it going. And take your time, do it really slowly, like follow its path. Like, can you track the path of this plane moving out along the horizon all the way as far as you can kind of see it, to the point where it maybe would disappear, and then start bringing it very slowly backwards, and take your time. It's really worthwhile doing that kind of following that process very slowly. If the image of a plane doesn't work for you, you could pick a tennis ball or some other circular object, or a bird or a feather. Just feel what works for you. So as you go through that process and you feel how your eyes feel, so this is really the important thing. So, this is an imaginary process and you're looking out into the distance, but can you feel what your eyes are doing as you're making that, as you're imagining that object going further and further into the distance? Can you feel that it does something to your eye? And then again, as you get to the furthest point, where the object is so small that you can hardly see it, then it begins to come back towards you. And it comes back towards you all the way, following along the line of your vision to the horizon, coming all the way kind of between the eyebrows. So this kind of closest point of vision. And just do that a number of times and see if you can really kind of like feel a smoothness in this kind of imaginary object, going out into the distance and coming back. As you do this movement, as you organize your eyes in this way, and they are organizing despite having your eyes closed. So with your eyes closed, your eyes will be working with that imaginary object as well. But can you feel what's actually happening in the eye? Can you feel that there's some change as you look further away, and there's some change as you bring your object of sight closer towards you? It could be that it's not tangible to you, that there's some kind of inner working of the eye, and that there's some change in sensation. But in terms of what our eye is doing, so as the object goes really, really far away, and I'm by no means an eye anatomist, and I'm going to massacre this, I'm sure. But as the eyes move far into the distance, there's muscles on either side of the eye that actually relax, and that the lens changes shape at that point. And the same thing when you bring the object back, there's muscles on either side of the eye that contract, and again that changes the shape of the lens and it focuses light in a different way. So that's the process. So those muscles are moving within the eye, and that movement has sensation. Not only because of the muscles in the eye, and I'm not sure we have nerves in the eye to feel those. I'll have to check that. But in terms of the musculature around the eye, so just feel it for yourself. Good. And then take a little break from that. Maybe open your eyes, just come back to the room. And notice as you open your eyes, maybe you notice the feeling of the eyelid moving over the top of the eye, but also maybe you notice a difference in how you're looking at the room, or how the room appears to you. Has your perception of light changed? Has the kind of quality or color changed in any way? Good. Okay, and then very gently just close your eyelids and then open them. Just do it a couple of times just to really see if you can feel that movement of the eyelids. And as you do that, one of the things that you're doing is blocking out some light. And there is still light that comes in through the eyelids, but as you block out the light, then the eyes are actually working slightly less hard than they would be if they were processing light. So in a similar way, in a Feldenkrais lesson, we ask people to lie on their back. In a similar way to that, taking gravity out of the equation so that the muscles are working less hard in order to hold us upright. Then when we close our eyes and we take away that incoming light, then the muscles in the eyes and the eyes themselves are working slightly less hard, which makes them more sensitive. Good. So leave your eyes closed now. And what I'd like you to do is just move your eyes over to the left. So in Wednesday's lesson, we did left and right. So if you just move your eyes somewhere over to the left, a comfortable amount, and then stay in that position and begin to follow that object out to the horizon in that place over to the left slightly. So it's exactly the same thing. Make sure that when you're looking over on the horizon, so towards the horizon, and that you're following that object. Again, I picked an airplane today. Following that object out onto the horizon and as far as you can see it, and then come back slowly, gradually towards your eyes in the middle of your eyes. And just do it a number of times. See if you can really feel that there's some smoothness or quality of like consistency in imagining that object going into the distance and coming back. And there will be moments within that process where you feel that that's a little bit like jerky, where the muscles kind of are contracted or aren't used to doing that movement in that way, in that position. So maybe you're less good at looking to the left than you are in the middle, or afterwards we're going to do this to the right, and you can see the differences. And as you do it, just notice your breathing. Notice how you're sitting on the chair. Just feel the kind of the quality of your body, feel the process of your body as you make this eye movement over to the left. So as you take your eyes far out into the distance to the point where the object almost disappears, and then very slowly begin to bring it back towards you. As it comes back towards you, obviously the object gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it's right in front of your eyes, and then obviously that's as big as the object will get. And you're doing this with your eyes closed. You're doing this with an imaginary object, taking it out on the horizon, towards the horizon, with your eyes looking to the left. Now your face is it may have turned to the left, but if you can, keep it in the middle. So it's just the eyes that have turned to the left. Again, notice if there's any kind of moments in that process where you take your eyes all the way out as far as they can go and all the way back as far as they can come back, that it changes how you're feeling in yourself, changes sensations that you're feeling, changes your breathing, changes maybe what you're thinking about. Just notice kind of what's going on, what's in the process of doing that movement. Good. And then allow your eyes to come back all the way, and then move your eyes to the middle and just let your eyes rest in the middle before you open your eyes. And once or twice, just do this movement again in the middle so that you're looking in the middle, not left, not right. You're looking in the middle towards the horizon, following this object out as far as you can follow it, and then coming back as far as it can. And just see, has that changed? Does it feel differently? Can you imagine it smoother? Feel your breathing. Maybe feel the muscles of your face, the muscles around the eye as you do that movement now. Good. And let it go. Very gently, just open your eyelids again. Open your eyelids, let the kind of the room appear in front of you. Just notice kind of how that feels now, what sensation are you getting, what information are you receiving? Is there a difference in light quality? Or is there just a difference in kind of how you feel about the room? So earlier in the lesson, I talked about how this phrase "looking forward" is analogous to kind of looking into the future, or having hope. And in some way, I think that also requires a change in how we look at the world. And that change can be literally to do with our physiology. It can be, relaxing the muscles of our eyes, feeling more relaxed in our body, feeling our breathing more comfortable, makes us more communicative, more easy to interact with other people. So maybe you feel that now. Good. Very gently, just close your eyelids again over the eyes. And just see, can you notice the shape of the eye? Take your eyes over to the right now, keeping them along the line of the horizon. Once you've got your eyes in a comfortable place over to the right, your head is in the middle, just your eyes moving over to the right, and then just begin to follow this object. Again, I've picked an aeroplane today. Follow this object out along the line of the horizon as far as it can go, to the point where the object almost disappears, and then very slowly, very gradually begin to bring it back. And just do that movement a number of times. See, as you do this movement this time, if you can feel some of the musculature around the eye, you can feel the shape of the eye, you could feel that there's some activity happening kind of as we organize the eyes to look out into the distance and to bring our eyes back and look at something very close. Just see what you can feel. The point of that is not a competition in feeling, but maybe as a future cue for yourself. So if you notice that as you go through your day, and as you look at your screen, or you use your eyes a lot, that there's some tension developing, that's like a cue that you can feel, and then you can be like, okay, I need to step away from what I'm doing, let my eyes relax for a bit, and then maybe I can come back to it afterwards. So the more sensitive we get to these cues from our body, the better we're able to respond to our life situation, our environment, to other people. Good. So as you follow the object out to the right, feel if there's any change in your breathing, any change in how you're sitting, and how smooth does the object go out into the distance and then come back towards you. Can you make it a really kind of constant movement all the way through, so it's not kind of jumping from place to place? If you've ever seen someone's eyes sitting opposite you on a train looking out of the window, they kind of do this kind of like jumping movement. See if you can kind of get a really smooth quality to this. Feel the muscles around the eye, feel the shape of the eye. And maybe you can feel the muscles of the face as well. As you look out to the right, you can imagine that the muscles inside the eye are relaxing in some way and the lens is changing shape. Light's coming into the eye in a different way. Good. Bring the eyes back towards you, or bring the object back towards you. Let's just do it one more time. So take that object out, keeping your eyes to the right, taking it as far as you can see. You imagine that you're on the beach and that you can see all the way to the horizon. And maybe it's a model aeroplane rather than a big one. Good. Very gently bring your eyes back towards you. See if you can really take your time with that bit as well. Feeling your breathing, feeling the object coming all the way as close as it can get. Okay, keep your eyes closed. Bring your eyes back to the middle and just feel how the eyes feel resting in the middle now. Without making any effort, without looking in any direction, without looking forwards or backwards, just resting the eyes, not doing anything. And give yourself a moment to feel that. With the eyes closed, the eyelids closed over the eyes, we're processing less light. We're not taking the eyes to the left or the right anymore. We're not looking forwards or backwards anymore, just resting them in the middle. And maybe you feel that that has an effect on the whole of your musculature. It's one of Moshe Feldenkrais's favorite sayings that the eyes organize the muscles of the whole body. So as you relax the muscles of the eyes, does that have an effect on the muscles of the whole body? Good. Very gently, very slowly, begin to imagine that object going out in front of you again to the horizon and slowly coming back. And just do that a couple of times. Just to feel any differences you feel now from the beginning of the lesson when you first did it. You feel as you kind of, in some way you're coordinating both of your eyes to a central object, and that's the object is going out away from you and then coming towards you. So, the eyes are kind of both doing something slightly different. Good. Okay, and then just bring your eyes back. Let the object come back towards you. And again, just feel how your eyes feel resting in the middle. Very gently, very gradually begin to open your eyelids and see if you can take your time to do that. Really feel that, you let in light little by little by little. As if you're just waking up and you don't really want to see too much too soon. Good. As you fully open your eyes, take in the space around you, the room around you. The sense that the computer or the laptop or the screen is kind of, one part of your visual field, but there's also a much larger visual field. And then pick an object in the room that's as far away as you can see in the room and just look at that object and then bring your eyes to maybe something a bit closer. and then out to that object again. And just notice, can that be a smooth movement between something a little far away and a little closer? And maybe you can play with that throughout the rest of today. As you kind of move around your environment, as you maybe go outside, just like, pick an object that's a little bit far away and then move your eyes back to something that's a little closer, and just see if you can kind of notice how it makes you feel as you do that. I think there is some neurological benefit to looking far away, and I'm not sure if it relates to the relaxation of the eye muscles. I'm going to need to investigate that a bit more. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments. This was the fifth of my new series to do with movement meditations. A little bit different from what I was doing before. For the 50 lessons prior to that were all breathing lessons or related to breathing. And so we want to do something a bit different sometimes. Variety is nice. So these lessons have been kind of more towards understanding the body, understanding ourselves, using attention and movement to do that. So I hope you've been enjoying them. I am teaching a lesson, a full Feldenkrais lesson tomorrow at 1 p.m. If you want to join that, just sign into my Facebook group and the details will be within that. So it's 1 p.m. tomorrow. And I'm considering doing a longer eye lesson because I know that we are all using our eyes a lot more at the moment. If this was interesting for you, if you found some benefit, come out and check out the longer lesson tomorrow. And that's going to be taught on Zoom, one of my normal Feldenkrais classes. And then on Sunday mornings from 9:45 to 11, I teach a Qigong class that's based on a system of Qigong called Tai Chi Wu Qigong, which is something that I learned from a master called Dr. Shen Hongshon. So if that's something that's interesting you, sort of like the other side of the stuff that I do, again, you can get the details from my Facebook group. The details are in the description. There's also a link if you want to send a little donation for the lessons, if they've had some benefit to you. And please like and share the videos. Obviously, the more that I get you guys to do that, then the better I get access to other people, and hopefully I'm able to benefit more people. So I would really appreciate that. Thank you for watching, and I will be back on Monday morning at 11. Okay, take care. Bye.